the underdogs. I'm an underdog. I've been through it all. I can never fall.
What's good, you guys? Welcome back to For the Underdogs podcast. Today I got my barber in the studio, and I'm excited to talk to him because he's been cutting my hair for 15 years now. We talked about it the other day, and that's just kind of blew my mind because when I think about, our culture and what it is, a lot of times barbers are more than just your barber. Your barber can be your therapist. Your barber can, give you advice on certain situations. And so I'm super grateful to have him in the studio today because this will be the first time that we sit down and have this type of conversation. And, without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Jervis, my barber.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. How we doing?
Good, man. It's great to be here.
Yeah, first time doing a podcast. I know you're a little nervous, but
A little bit.
yeah.
But I'm sure as time go along, it'll just be like our regular conversation in the chair.
Yeah, it will be good. I want to ask you, I want to get your perspective. We were talking, a couple weeks ago and just shooting the shit how we normally do in the barbershop, and we brought up that the fact that you have been cutting my hair since 2010.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah. How long has one of your longest standing clients been?
I would say probably the whole time I've been here, which is, let's see, January would be 20 years that I've been here in Arizona.
Yeah.
So I have maybe 2 or 3 clients that I've been doing since day one, since I moved here.
Okay, I gotta catch up then. It's all good.
I mean, but at the same time, one of them is my cousin. So,
Yeah.
and he's one of the reasons why I actually moved to Arizona.
That's interesting. Yeah. So, man, 15 years is a long time. You see me go through so many probably different phases of life from a different perspective. I think that's so interesting because I've been seeing you. I mean, even if I was, away playing on a different team, every time I came back, you were the person that cut my hair.
Right.
And so we've been knowing each other for a long time. And it's probably, I just want to get your perspective on what the barbershop is from you because I'm a client, I come into the barbershop once a week, maybe, once every 2 weeks, and I see you. But what does the barbershop mean to you? Because I know in the culture, it's almost like a sacred place. A lot of people grow up in the barbershop and you see people from kids to adults.
Yeah.
What is that type of place like for you?
Well, the barbershop for me is, I guess you could say where people come in to congregate and talk, things on their chest, they get it off their chest, or, if they have ideas, because you're going to get people in the barbershop from all walks of life.
Yeah.
It's super diverse. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to get almost every angle there is possible. And you'll be able to get reactions off of that also, whether it's a good idea or a terrible idea.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, and in all aspects of life, you got different people that deal with different things and handling them according to, how they want to handle it, And then so, sometimes they bounce stuff off of you and you're like, well, I never been in that situation, but at the end of the day, I've had a few people or some people that just come in the shop and did it, and one did it this way, one did it that way, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting because like I was saying, you're almost an uncertified therapist to some clients, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone comes in there weekly or bi-weekly, whatever the case may be, but in that moment, a lot of people get to let their guard down and just be them in your chair.
Genuinely.
Yeah, genuinely themselves. What is that like for you to have that type of connection with your clients, because we talk all the time and, sometimes we may get in a deep conversation. Sometimes it may just be what we up to this week. But I know for me, those conversations, I usually get a lot of perspective out of. So what is that like for you?
It's cool because as well as me sharing information, I'm also receiving information. And, because as time goes on, the way people handle things is a lot different. So a lot of my clients, whether they're high school or first or second year in college, as well as the guys that are actually older than me who hair I'm cutting. So I'm getting the perspective from, let's say, a 40-year range.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you know how to deal with, I mean, you deal with people every day.
Yeah.
So you have to, I don't want to say you have to, but I feel like naturally you're open to so many different energies from people.
Yeah.
Does it ever get exhausting dealing with certain people, or what is that like?
Tell you the truth, yes. Yeah, there's some people that come into the shop and they're energy givers.
Yeah.
And they give you life or energy, you know. And then there's other ones that just suck the energy out of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And man, I tell you what, those people like that that's just draining. For the most part, I just try to get them in and get them out as fast as possible, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and then like sometimes, you know, whatever their truth is, and then you have to let them know, look, man, look, this how things go. All right. I mean, you can either roll with it or just find somewhere else to go or find somebody else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I like to give them the truth and let them know, because I don't want to blow up on anybody.
Yeah.
So I would give them fair warning, and I'm kind of direct with it too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, I gave you enough warning and I didn't told you. So all right, this is the end.
Yeah.
This is the end of the ball. I'm not doing it anymore.
That's one thing I appreciate you since, 2010, you cut my hair. You always been a straight shooter. Like, I know that in your chair, you're going to give it to somebody straight. Like, there's no sugarcoating it. You're going to say how you feel.
Right.
And you mean what you say. And I think a lot of people probably appreciate that trait of you, because it is, it's reassuring when you know that somebody's going to give you the truth and the whole truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like, let's just say in many avenues, there's a lot of, let's say, single women raising boys to men. And, so the interaction with me and them, like, I know mom's going to be more nurturing and kind of telling them what they want to hear, or, in that aspect. And then so, like, as I would see it, I tell them directly what it is. Like, no, it's just like this.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, well, my mom, I say, well, your mom has a different perspective. I'm a man.
Yeah. You're
growing to be a man. So I'm just letting you know this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Your mom perspective is different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting, because you almost play that father figure probably to, when you are cutting these kids and you watching them grow into young adults and young men. Yeah. If they have that right perspective, you probably do play that role for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And few of them, because, like if they're asked their mom or whatever, certain question, and, mom is not going to tell you the direct truth. You know, she knows the truth, but she can't tell you that. Yeah. Where I'm on the other end, I'm like, no, you're going to experience this, and this. So expect that. Now, if you don't, great. Yeah. You didn't have to go through it. Yeah. But I'm just saying, prepare for the worst. And then if it's falls short of the worst, then you're good. Yeah.
Nah, that's super interesting. I love that, because, like I said, within our culture, the community in the barbershop is so special, and it's so it's different, I think, than if you haven't experienced it, you wouldn't know. You can go in there and the light bulb can click on for a life experience just off of the wisdom that you get from all walks of life. Like you said, all walks of life come through there, and there's so much wisdom given out in there that I think is one of the underrated things that, as a man, as a Black man especially, that's something that's played a huge role in my life,
Yeah, absolutely. And then even more so, because we have a wide range of barbers from different places, regions, and everything. Yeah. And so, of course, where you come up from, the area, it's going to be different. Things is handled differently. People talk a lot differently. Yeah. So you're going to get a wide range of experiences from, of course, where those people are from, with a little bit of Arizona added to it too. Yeah. We might do one thing in New Orleans because that's where I'm from.
Yeah, that's where he's from, by the way, New Orleans.
Right. So we do things a certain way. And, I would say growing up in it, I didn't think nothing was wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved to Arizona, and then certain things we do, I was like, man, that's wild. I didn't realize we did stuff like that.
Different. Yeah, it's different for sure.
And then you come here, and then it's an eye opener because you're like, man, they ain't have to deal with this. I deal with that.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, I guess it was put to me like moving to Arizona is like living on vacation.
Mm.
Like it ain't as tense,
Mm-hmm.
and it's more laid back and lax. You know?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is.
Nah, it is for sure.
Yeah.
It's almost
Sorry for interrupting. Do you have an example
of
like something that was different from like that? Like.
Well, put it this way. At home, everybody come to shop at least once a week, or every week, or every 2 weeks. Here, you get more people come like every 2 weeks to once a month, and it's kind of spread out. So at home, like say for example, a haircut is $15 or $14. They give you $15. They wait for their dollar back. And you're like, hey, I don't get a tip.
Yeah.
They'd be like, my tip is I'll be here next week.
Yeah,
Whereas
consistent.
Here, I'm gonna be here next week.
Yeah.
At the same time, same day,
Yeah.
every week. Here, that same $14 haircut, they'll give you 20 and say, hey, keep the change.
Yeah.
And so, it's just,
That's interesting. I was thinking before we started shooting the episode how the dynamics of barbering has changed. Like
oh yeah,
it's probably changed drastically since you first started and then to where it is now. Like you got, people that are barbers for athletes and barbers for certain people, things like that. What is that? What is that landscape like for you, like navigating your way through that? Because you have to, at some point, stay up to date on the trends and everything.
right.
But I consider you like one of the old school barbers that you like a traditional barber to me. Like, how to do everything, but also there's just a certain vibe to what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is that like, that landscape of how it's always changing? What's that like for you?
Well, in the beginning, so how you have all different types of haircuts now, what I find the major differences was back then, growing up early, because I've been cutting hair since I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
And as I got older, so the way you cut was your I guess your signature, I would say. So you had guys that will have like no matter how they'll fade somebody hair, you could tell that's the same person cutting the same, whether it be a high fade all the time, or a low fade all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just what their signature. You know what I'm saying? Some people will fade and they'll have like a heavy weight line go around, but that's how they like it. That's what they wanted to look like.
Yeah.
Whereas now everybody in search for the blurry fade. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so by me starting off so early, I kind of do all of it. It just depends on what you want or how you present it to me.
Yeah.
But the main thing is getting clarity for what they expecting into what they saying. Because sometimes
people get in the chair and not know what they want
at all. Don't have a clue. Or they'll tell you some things that they want, and you're looking at that head, and that's like that almost is impossible.
It ain't the same. Yeah.
Like you got somebody with a really curly hair grain, and they bring you a picture of somebody with straight hair, and they want you to do that. I say I could do that, but it ain't gonna look like that.
Yeah, for sure. That's hilarious.
Because I'm like, I don't know what your expectation is, but I can't change your hair texture.
Nah, that's interesting. What is the? Oh shit! Sorry, I lost my train of thought. That's funny.
Well, for example, I wanted dreads in high school.
Yeah.
And I had blonde hair, and I still very fine blonde hair.
I've seen it done.
It could be done.
I tried. My friend's mom could do them, and she did the beeswax, and it stayed.
Well, what they'll have to do is crochet it.
Yeah, that's what she teased it. My hair is so fine and so straight. Nothing. It was in there for a couple weeks, and it just kind of fell out.
I miss my dreads. Damn.
Yeah, dreads.
I did.
Yeah.
I cut them shits off not too long ago.
Oh,
Yeah, it's all good. Damn, what was I about to say? Hold on. What was we just talking about? I lost my train of thought.
We were talking about the different
Textures.
textures.
Oh, and how the barbershop experience has changed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I would say it's a lot more fashion
Yeah,
conscious now.
it is.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a lot of barbers out there now.
right. It's a lot of barbers, and I would say like the enhancements and all that. I guess that's more or less makeup for men. That's how I think of it.
Tell me this. We had this conversation not too long ago, and I feel like the enhancements almost mask if you're a good barber or not.
Absolutely.
Like you've never used an enhancement on my hair. I don't like having that
Right.
in my hair because I truly feel like, first off, I trust you as a barber. You've been cutting me 15 years.
Right.
But also it's a sense of like, you know what you're doing in order to get it right. As opposed to like a lot of people kind of mask up where they
messed up.
They messed up with the enhancements.
Yeah.
Do you look at it that way when you see a barber using a ton of enhancements? Is it like, I don't know if you should do that? Or do you just let barbers do what they do?
I let them do what they do, because at the end of the day, enhancements for us is what we consider the upcharge. So, your haircut costs one price, you want the enhancement. All right.
Yeah.
So it's an upcharge or upsell,
Yeah.
So it's additional funds we could bring in and make more money,
Uh-huh.
So I get it from that aspect. And then there's others that completely like rely on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like they'll cut a head and then they'll spray it, and it's picture perfect,
Yeah.
But if that person sweats or
it's
swimming
over. It's over with.
or if they're active,
Yeah, it's
you
over
know what
with.
I'm saying? It's like they're giving them the so like for example, like when a woman go and she's getting married and they got the whole little spa treatment and they get the hair done, the nails done. Well, the enhancement is like to me the male version of that. And I'm like, it's cool if you get married to a prom or something like that.
Yeah.
But every day,
Nah.
I think it's too much.
It is too much. I can't get down with it. I appreciate you having the skill to just cut me naturally because that's something that I really value. Tell me what really got you into barbering. I know you said you've been cutting since you was 10 years old.
Yeah.
Was it the want to cut hair, or was there something deeper than that kind of pushed you to want to be a barber?
Well, initially, I would say that, growing up, my dad used to cut my hair, me and my brother's hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he used to be like, "Oh man, look like you need another haircut." I'm like, yeah, but he wouldn't actually cut my hair for about another week or two or three, depending on how busy he was, because he was busy man,
Yeah.
So just one day I was asking him, like, well, how you do it? And he's like, well, you know how our hair grows different directions. He said, man, put the comb on it and just go over like you're combing your hair. And I was like, all right. So I did it. And, I was pretty much mocking what I felt that he did. And then when I saw him do my brother's hair.
Yeah.
And, and the first couple of times I did it came out great.
Yeah.
And then the comb broke on the clippers and I messed my head up.
Yeah.
And man, I cried. Boy, I was hurt.
Yeah. I can imagine. I almost nicked my mustache the other day. Before I came to your chair, I'm like, nah, this is bad.
Yeah, I was, and so that's how I got started. And so like my brother was like, he's like almost 5 years older than me.
Yeah.
And so my brother had a friend of his come to the house. And my brother tried cutting his hair, messed it up.
Yeah.
Terrible. And then the next time the friend came, because he lived around the corner, he was always over by our house. And then my cousin tried to cut it, and he probably did worse than my brother.
Huh.
And then so I guess, I don't know, maybe a month or a month and a half later, I was like, and then my brother told his friend, his name was Brian, he said, Brian, why don't you just let Jerv do it? Because he'd probably be better off. And he said, he said, well, he can't be no worse than the other two was.
Yeah.
And then he said, plus he cuts his own hair too. So he seemed like he have a better idea.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started. Brian was my first. I guess you could say client. So I was learning, and we both was learning together. Like
Yeah. But you obviously loved it because
Yeah. Well, it was honestly it was just a hobby that I picked up, and I was going through motions and doing it right. And then one day, now this is when I was in college. I got kicked out of school for bad grades.
mm,
But at the time, I was still working at UPS at night.
mm-hmm,
And so the guy that ran UPS also had a barbershop.
mm-hmm,
And so him and my dad was in a golf club, a black golfing association together.
mm-hmm.
And so he was asking my dad, well, what Jervis do? Don't he cut hair? And he's like, yeah. He said, well, what did he do before he go to UPS? He said, he just be at home. And he's like, you think he'll work in my shop? And he said, he probably would.
Yeah.
And so I went over there. And so what I was charging at the house when I went to the shop, it was double that. And I was like, whoa, I can actually earn a living doing this. You know?
That's interesting too, because you can earn a living being a barber.
Yeah.
Like I consider barbers professionals at what they do. Like to me, I feel like you could probably be a tattoo artist if you wanted to, because of the way that lines and drawing like that plays that plays a role into
and patience.
Like that plays a role into it. And I think, when I think about, I know you guys got a young kid at the barbershop, like y'all was talking to him the other day and was like, man, you can make a dope living being a barber, especially given the way times are now.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's an underrated aspect of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You can earn a living, like I said, with enhancements and like if you could do designs, which you don't have to know how to do a design, but I would say if you focus more on the skill part of just the giving, like the fade and making everything clean, and like you can earn a good living. And then if you do designs, that's an upcharge.
Yeah,
you can do an upcharge for the enhancements. You know, you can do like a mask. As a steam, hot towel, all that stuff is added to it.
Need a hot towel all the time.
Yeah,
that's interesting. What is there a competition aspect to it? Like, is there a competitive nature to barbering in the barbershop? Do you guys have that competitiveness back and forth? Do you look at it that way?
It is a competition. Now, whether you say it or not, it still is. But anybody that that is love their craft, it's gonna become competitive because of that. So,
from what aspect? Is it clients or is it the type of cut?
Both.
Yeah,
both. Because the more clients, obviously, the more money you'll make.
For sure.
So that's the most important part.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And then not only that, you want to be able to do your work and it stands, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's like, what we got, 3, 4, 5, 6 barbers in the shop, you can have one client go to each one of those chairs and get the same haircut per se, but it's going to come out six different ways.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's not going to be exactly the same. So each individual person have their own signature and how they do things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A good barber, what they do is you pick up little bits and pieces from each barber you work with that you think they do well, that you like, and you might add it to your.
So you're also you're always
learning
and constantly evolving.
Yes.
Even where you are now, like being a barber for how long? What?
Be 28 years.
28 years. Even at 28 years, you're still going into it with an open mindset.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting. I like that. You got to tell me more about that. How you're kind of evolving constantly since you've been doing it for so long.
Well, there's certain things that you do to achieve a certain look, right? And then you could watch another barber and watch how they do it, and it could be something as simple as, instead of using combs, the guards that go on the clippers, it could be something as simple as, instead of doing that, you could just use the clipper over comb and cut it and achieve what you're trying to get faster. So you're able to get there at a faster point. So now you could cut down on your time, and now you have more spots available,
Damn, I didn't think about it that way. Just the time slot that the time allotted that you have to get your clients in, and then also the efficiency behind getting the cut done in a,
Right.
in a certain fashion.
In a timely manner, right?
Yeah.
Because, you have like 30 minutes or an hour. Some people do 45-minute increments, 15 minutes, but you're trying to achieve what you're trying to achieve in that time slot fast as possible. Now, the more efficient you get with it, something that you may do and it typically takes you 30 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
you constantly learn and picking up other things from other barbers.
Yeah.
So, okay, I could do that in 30 minutes, but now I'm getting a little more efficient with it because I see where they cut out steps
Mm-hmm.
and just get right to it. And now I could do it in 20 minutes,
What's something that you've picked up on since like lately? Is there anything that you've like took from somebody else in order to, better your skills?
Well, initially I would say that I used to use like the hot shave cream,
Yeah.
and it worked pretty well. It softens the hair, make it easier for the blade to glide across the skin.
Yeah.
As far as that, and then like when I was first moved to it was in the cut over there. That's when I met Jimmy and Mike and all them guys over there.
That's all his barber homies, all his people that he cut with.
Yeah. So I've noticed the way that they do their shaves with the gel, and I noticed that I think with the gel, because you could put it on there and you brush it down into a place where you want it, and then that just make that line that much more defined and cleaner.
Uh-huh.
And another thing, what I was having issues with my hot latherer is that to get the mixture right.
Yeah.
Man, it was hard every time. Like, you'll think something is simple because they'll tell you this amount of water, this amount of thinner, this amount of latherer, and you mix it together, shake it up, and it works well today. And then you do it tomorrow, and it clogs up your machine, or it doesn't flow out right. Stuff gets jammed. So I was kind of fed up with it. So when I got the gel, I started using the gel. I like this a lot better.
Yeah. Is there a sense of pressure at all as like doing what you do every day? You got to be ready to cut, and I'm sure you had those days where you don't feel like cutting. Is there a sense of pressure, or do you like truly love what you do and it just allows you to be in that space when you actually get in the shop?
I think the biggest pressure would be like more or less when you get that first time client, first time you cut their hair, because that's going to set the precedent for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're going to come back or not.
First impression is everything.
Experience.
Yeah.
So the pressure, I would say, be bigger at that moment, and in finding out exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that'll what I'll say is, and then also the reality of it, because like that's their first time coming, and what they're asking for might be impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if they could do that.
Yeah.
I could get you close to it, but
yeah,
like hair types and what you want, like all that plays a part.
Nah, for sure.
So and then dealing going to work, and the thing about barbering, because you have to be mindful of your time and other people's time, mostly other people's time. You want to get them in and get them out in a timely fashion.
Yeah.
So you need to be on time.
Yeah.
So what that means is, like, I don't know, the night before you might not be able to go and kick it and hang with cats and whatever, because you need your rest, and you need to be, because people are expecting.
And that's if you want to be good at what you do and you take pride in your work. Those are some of the sacrifices that you have to make. And that's why I consider a barber a professional. Like,
well, the better ones are professional.
Yeah.
Because, in being a professional, as well as because you use a professional football player.
Yeah.
A professional can do their job regardless.
Mm-hmm.
It's just second nature.
Yeah.
But you could be better about it. You could, put yourself in a situation to win. Mostly, you know, and you don't want to go to work hungover all the time.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Eventually, it's gonna start to drag you down, no matter how good you are.
Yeah, and your clients at that point, like I can't imagine if that was the vibe I'm walking into when I want to get my haircut. For me, like when I think about a haircut, there's sometimes I get in the chair and I'm like, I need you to fix this. Like I'm down bad right now. Like to me, a haircut is like, it's like this revival. Like I feel good walking out of the barbershop. I feel like I'm ready to hop and do some business and you know, take care of my stuff. So
it gives you energy.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Like, and people respect you when you're walking around clean cut, you know, like that's
self-assurance.
That's the truth about it. So I can't imagine walking into that and the vibe isn't right from my barber. Like, I won't even want to cut at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it would get.
Yeah, I had a situation where I had a guy that used to come every 2 weeks on Saturday, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
First person. And it just got to a point in time, like, man, every time you come, it's an issue. Like you sick, or somebody have to bring you there, or you calling last minute canceling because you went out last night. And I'm like, obviously, you need to pick a better time.
Yeah.
Or
change something that you're doing.
Right. And so I had to let him go. Like, man, look, you killing me. I'm breaking my neck not doing something on Friday night so I could be here on time on Saturday.
Yeah.
And you don't even show up.
That's interesting, too, because there are barbers out there that take any client, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I feel like since knowing you put your peace of mind first prior to just, you know, letting anybody sit in your chair. Like, you want it to be organic and feel right.
Right.
How do you go about using that type of decision making? Because a lot of people probably wouldn't do that. You know, most guys would just take anybody who will pay them. Whereas you kind of, if this ain't right, hey, I think you should go somewhere else.
Well, everything is a feel, you know. So if it feels good, you know, then, you know, you do it. But as time goes along and you talking to a person, you're like, and then so if something rubs you the wrong way or they handle something wrong, it could be something simple as like you get in the chair, I'm cutting your hair, and you constantly dropping your head all on your phone.
Yeah.
Constantly on your phone. I'm like, man, look, check it out. It's only gonna be 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Let me get you right.
Let me do what I need to do.
Let me get you right. And then, you know, you could get in your phone. Now, if it's an emergency, I understand it. But most cases, they're on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, man, keep still. Let me bless you.
Yeah.
And then you go back to what you do, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, like, some cats, that, like I say, the energy be off and, like, they still want to do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so I can only warn you a few times. And I'll be like, man, look. And then, you know, don't have me put your phone over here like you a child.
Yeah, nah, you don't want to do that.
You know, like, I mean, I'm trying to get you to understand, like, you're stopping my progress. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of people don't look at it like that. They just think, oh, I'm going to the barbershop, like, this is about me. Like, you also got to have that perspective of, like, I keep saying it, you're a professional at the end of the day.
Yes.
You know, you take your job serious. This is what you do to make a living.
Yeah.
You know, so have that same respect,
right?
You know, given the situation.
Right. So, you know, I mean, I'm telling you this because I want the best outcome that's available for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As well as this is my work.
Yeah.
That I'm giving to you.
You take pride in it.
Yeah. I want it to come out and look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And then you got those people that, you know, man, it's just a haircut, man.
Yeah.
It's not that serious. So, all right.
Nah, I can't go into it like that. I need mine looking good every time.
You have people that have that perspective. Like, you know, it's almost like their wife sent them to the barbershop. He don't really want to cut his hair, but he tired of hearing her mouth.
He need one.
Yeah, he's tired of hearing her mouth. So go to the barbershop, man. Look, I don't care. Just do whatever.
Just chop me.
Yeah, just so she can shut up.
Yeah, nah, I hear that. What's crazy is, bro, you know me since 2010.
Yeah.
When I first got out here to ASU. And we about to go into 2025 now. Like 15 years of cutting my hair.
Yeah.
You done seen different hairstyles I done had,
Yeah.
dreads, curls, whatever the case may be. What is this? I don't even know if I'm gonna phrase this question the right way, but like as far as our relationship, what is the vibe like when I come into the barbershop and sit in your chair? Because you obviously use discernment for certain people, like this man, he's an energy drainer or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what's that vibe like? Because I have my perspective on it, but I want to know now that you said it.
Well, your energy is it ain't the highest, it ain't the lowest, but it's pretty more like reserved and relaxed.
I'm chill, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But most times, you know, we kind of pick each other's brain about sports or what's current in sports industry, what's going on, and like who got their head knocked off, who didn't, you know what I'm saying? Coaches vibe and all like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, from that perspective, that's what I'd be expecting. I know I'm gonna get something to the, you know, oh well, you know, Adams just got traded to the Jets or something like that. And, you know, we'd chop that up for a second or two or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's a good energy, you know. But the thing about it is that with me, if I have a client or somebody I do and they are draining, and they make my job feel like work, I don't want to cut their hair anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because I do what I do, but to me, it's not work.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
you don't feel like you working all the time when you in that, because like the barbershop is like a locker room almost. Like,
correct.
You know, like you can go in there. I'm telling you, people need to experience the barbershop because it is such a cool, dope vibe. Music playing, jokes being told, movies being watched.
Right.
You know, I sharpen my sports mind when I'm in the barbershop because there's so many different conversations about sports.
Oh yeah,
so
all the time.
Damn, what was I about to say? What was my question I was about to ask? Nah, you good. What was I leading into? Oh, so you don't feel like there's work all the time. You feel like
It's only certain clients that make my job feel like work. You know?
Yeah.
And then truthfully, I've kind of eliminated most of them, so I don't think I even have any of them anymore.
They gone.
Yeah, you know, once you know, I give you an opportunity to shoot yourself in the foot, and then they're like, you know what? Our time has passed. Yeah, I don't have to deal with this. You know.
I think people can add that into do you do that in your normal life as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some people I don't even want to deal with, you know.
That's who you are at your core.
Yes. Like the way I feel and my energy, I don't think it collides or mesh well with certain people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I deal with people regularly, you know, because I'm in the service industry, so I have to, right?
Yeah.
But then when I'm off, there's only like certain people in my circle that I feel like dealing with. You know, like I don't really care to meet new people and all that like that because I'm constantly doing it. And then, you know, if sometimes, you know, I'll chop it up with them. But and then sometimes, you know, I'm sitting by myself purposely. Yeah. Because I don't want to be bothered.
Well, you're dealing with people every single day.
Right. And the biggest thing is, you know, you kind of deal with their problems and what they're going through. Yeah. But nobody asks the barber, are you okay?
How you doing?
Yeah. You going through anything? You need help?
Yeah.
You know?
Damn. That's crazy to think about because there is like, you know, everybody come sit down in your chair and I'm sure there's times where they just dump.
All the time.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, when do you get that chance to?
But that's also in the barbershop how you work with other people too. So yeah, if you want a stress release or something like that, you could bounce it off one of the other barbers, and then even though they might not be cutting your hair or anything, but you can still get that feedback and that information.
Yeah.
You know?
What is that dynamic like in the barbershop? Like, how do you view the barbers that you work with? Like, are those guys like, you know, your brothers, or is it like coworker space? Because I know like in the NFL, like I said it before.
That's how it is with in the barbershop. I mean, of course, there are going to be some people that, let's say, for example, on different subject matters and different things, you're going to probably trust one person and their opinion based on that, and then somebody else based on that.
Yeah.
And everybody, you're gonna have certain things that if you need, you go to them for that because you trust them enough
Yeah.
that they'll give you the real. You know what I'm saying? Or their experience, they have a higher experience level on that matter than the others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What would you be doing if you wasn't a barber?
What was shoot, I might have still been working at UPS actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. I actually used to love working at UPS.
And why is that?
Because so what I used to do is like, because I started off in the evening time, so I used to load the 26-footer. So those brown package cars, not only do they deliver, they pick up stuff from their accounts too.
Yeah.
Bring it in the building, put it on the belt, and then, we'll sort it, put it in different trailers and send it where I need to go. So I was building walls of packages and everything.
Yeah.
So I did that. I did sort. I pretty much did everything there at some point.
So if your pops never cut your hair and you never had that experience, do you think that you still would have gotten into being a barber?
Maybe. I think so because it, just like anything else, is talent, right?
It is a talent.
It's a talent. So like you could go to barber school and it may not be for you. You might want to do it, but you just don't get there.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you practice them, you'll get better with it. But when I was younger, I used to pick up stuff like really fast just by watching all the time. So I was always paying attention. I was always observant.
Yeah.
I may not say anything about it, but I'm watching.
You paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so dope. Like, to me, I said it before, you're a professional, but the art and the skill of being a barber is so dope, especially given the dynamic in the community. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I'm sure within your clientele, there's people that value you so much that they don't realize it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Like, I hope you always cut. I don't know how old you're going to be when you cut your hair and how sharp you're going to be, but I hope you always cut your hair because I don't know what else I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying?
I enjoy it, so it's going to be hard for me to stop.
Yeah? You see yourself doing it for life?
I don't see myself stopping.
Yeah?
Unless maybe a different avenue financially opens itself to it, and then, it's that, it's that big of a opportunity that I gotta get on it. You know? But even at that, I will still have to do a little cutting here and there.
Is it therapeutic for you?
Yeah.
At this, like, do you get lost in the cut and you just kind of forget about,
Well, a lot of times, when I'm processing and thinking, like dealing with stuff in my own life, as I'm working, because even when I do stuff like coloring at home.
Yeah.
And then, and I, just have thoughts come through my head and I'm coloring. Same way when I'm cutting hair, do the same thing. Or if I'm working, like if I'm painting something, like painting the wall, something like that, or cleaning.
Yeah.
Most of the time cleaning.
I was going to say, like, when I'm cleaning, I feel like as I'm decluttering my space, also within my mind, things are dissolving as well.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine from a barber perspective, when you got somebody that sit in your chair and their hair looks crazy, and you get to working on it and cleaning it up, it's almost a therapeutic release for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it feels that way. To see somebody come in, and
you be like, damn, you done said that to me before. Like, damn, what's
yeah, you all right?
yeah.
Like, I mean, you going through something? Like,
nah, man.
So
my hair just grow fast.
Yeah, so I come in on in and cut them up and everything. And they're like, man, it look good already. I said, I'm not even close to finish.
Yeah.
He say, but yeah, man, just what you just did that fast. Like it, I feel like get the release and releasing all that weight on my shoulders.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Like, it feels like you a new person. You get that weight up off you. Like, you can just operate differently. But get back to mentally what it does for you when you cleaning somebody up, because I think that's important. Like, I think when we do have a skill that helps us or allows us to clear our mind, I think that people need to indulge in that more because it is freeing and it feels good afterwards. So
Yeah.
what is that like for you consistently doing that every day on a day-to-day basis?
Oh, it's a refresh thing, you know. It's just like you come to the shop to get freshen up. You know what I'm saying? It kind of does that for me too, and me seeing like the beginning and then seeing the end result, and then you know, the attitude, uh, peak. You know, like, you know, feel better about yourself. The self-esteem level rises and everything.
Yeah, people change.
Yeah,
They
you
feel
know,
good.
like, man, I needed that.
That's gotta feel good for you too, seeing somebody bounce back like that. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And at that, and I can provide that for somebody. You
that's
know,
right.
that's priceless.
Damn, I didn't think about it like that because it is, you know, it's like this selfless piece of you as well, where you're providing this self-esteem boost for other people by the service that you do.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
by
saying?
the service I provide.
Yeah, and I'm sure that feels good at the end of the day. Like you are giving back at the end of the day with the skill that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. And then even more so, like when you got guys that, you know, take our job for granted and think they could just go anytime Dick and Harry and get the same result.
Yeah.
And then they come back in because they done messed up.
Yeah.
Like, can you fix this?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can fix it.
Yeah, I can fix it.
I can fix it.
I will say I'm a loyal. I would like to think of myself as a loyal customer when it comes to barbers. I don't like different people touching my hair, cutting my hair. Like, to me, it's so much more than a haircut to me. Like it's the obviously the friendship, but also the energy piece. Like I'm big on that. If I feel like I can, you know, relax and be myself for that 45 minutes, like that to me does so much more than just giving myself a, you know, a refresher of a haircut. Like it's a mood booster. It's a release for me at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like in all of our lives that we need a place that we can be our genuine self, you know, and not worry about, you know, whatever that's out there that we worry about. You know?
Is the barbershop that for you?
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like it is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, they come there to release and to become worry-free. And, you know, you escape your problems per se, for even if it's for 30 minutes to an hour or so.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of time, you know, we joke and laugh and, you know, it be some of the funniest things ever.
Some of the funniest laughs I done had have been in the barbershop.
Right.
Like to the point where I gotta be like, yo, stop cutting me real quick. like I just need to laugh this out, but it feels good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it works.
Yeah, it does. What is the best piece of advice that you've gotten? It doesn't even have to be from a barber aspect, but like you've dealt with so many people. You deal with people on a daily basis, people from all walks of life, and I'm sure you pick up pieces of wisdom from them.
Yeah.
It can be in barbering, but what is the best piece of advice that you've gotten that you would give a younger, you know, version of yourself or anyone that, you know, you see that relationship with?
Well, I would say the best advice I've ever gotten or was told to me was that you actually train others on how to treat you. You know what I'm saying? So if you let things slide and you let things go to a certain point, that's your fault.
Yeah.
So you actually train people how to treat you or how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I'm direct and I tell people exactly, you know, I'm not trying to be mean, but sometimes I just don't know how to say it in a nicer way.
For sure. Yeah.
You know
but your intentions are pure.
Right.
I think that's something I had to get through with like first working with you until where we are now, like knowing that like you say what you mean and you mean what you say. And I value that, you know, but a lot of people won't get that.
Right. You know, I rub people wrong, you know, I do. But, you know, sometimes just saying it I don't want to be mean.
Yeah.
Or I don't actually hear how it sounds, but I know a lot of things I say do come off harsh.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, it's like I'm giving you information. if it pertains to you, if you could use it, use it. And if you can't, or it doesn't apply to you, then let it go by the wayside.
For
you know?
sure.
But
I think that's great.
But I talk to the way I say or the directness I have is like that's how I want to be spoken to. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's so I know exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You know, because otherwise I'm gonna have to ask questions to figure out like the specifics.
For sure.
You know.
And on the flip side of it, like, you know, when I think about the way we treat ourselves also projects how people will treat us, you know?
Yes.
If we're not treating ourselves with the utmost respect and taking care of ourselves and presenting ourselves a certain way,
yes,
how can we expect people to do the same, you know, in that aspect? Because you're not gonna give off that energy. You know what I'm saying?
Right, absolutely.
What is Jervis's legacy as a barber? Like, what do you want to be known for at the end of the day when it's all said and done? Is it your professionalism? Is it the way you cut or the way you approach things? What is it?
I would say at the end of the day, my attention to detail.
Which is big.
Yes.
Attention to detail is huge.
Yeah, I would say my attention to detail and actually being on time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing. Come when you're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You know, don't call me at the time you're supposed to be there. Tell me you running late. Wow. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, nah, I know.
Right.
I feel like I that's one thing that I try not to do. I don't know that I've ever been late. Maybe like 1 or 2 minutes walking in, like,
yeah.
But I typically try to respect your time and stay on time because I know that does mean a lot to you at your core.
Right.
Through the 15 years you've been cutting me.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I feel like other people need to respect other folks' time because you know, you take it for granted.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so yeah. I would like to be known as a guy, attention to detail, very direct and truthful, you know, and you know what I say, I mean it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think people can respect that. I know I respect that about you for sure. You still nervous or you good now?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, we done. We done. Nah, I appreciate you coming, bro. I think obviously I respect, you know, you as a person and what you do and, you know, the role that you play in my life as well, cutting me for the last 15 years. Yeah. Like that says a lot about you and we got a lot of more cuts left, but you know, I just wanted to sit down and talk with you, and I appreciate you pulling up.
No problem, man. Thank you, and I appreciate you being a client of mine. Long one.
Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys tuning in to this episode of For the Underdogs podcast, make sure you like, subscribe, share, download, all of those good things, and I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, for the underdogs, I'm an underdog. I've been through it all. I could never fall.